In hip-hop, respect isn't optionally, it's everything. Loyalty defines reputations, and once that line is crossed, the damage is almost impossible to repair. That's why this explosive story sent shockwaves through the culture. According to allegations, Love and Hip Hop star Kirk Frost made a bold and shocking move asking Remy Ma to spend a night with him. On its own, it sounds like just another messy rumor. But when you factor in Remy's marriage to Papoose, a man known across the industry as one of the most loyal husbands in hip-hop history, the story hits very differently. For Papoose, who held Remy down through prison, through setbacks, and through every storm, this wasn't gossip, it was disrespect. It wasn't just an attack on his wife's character. It was an attack on their bond, their love, and the foundation they built together. Social media lit up with debates. Fans wondered, was this real? Was it another Love and Hip Hop style storyline? Or was it Kirk Frost once again living up to his messy reputation? One thing was clear. Papoose wasn't about to let it slide. This isn't just gossip. It's a story of loyalty versus betrayal. The hip-hop world is no stranger to drama. Every few months, a new story breaks, shaking up the culture and sparking endless debates on social media. But this time, the alleged situation between Kirk Frost, Remy Ma, and Papoose hit differently. Why? Because this wasn't just about music, fame, or rumors. It was about loyalty, respect, and marriage. To truly understand why this alleged proposition from Kirk Frost sent shockwaves through the community, you have to go back and look at the individuals involved. Each one of them carries a history that defines how fans reacted to this story. Let's start with Remy Ma. Born Reminisce Smith, Remy is one of the most respected female rappers in the game. Her journey hasn't been easy. She went from making her mark under the mentorship of Big Pun to dominating the 2000s with hit records, to serving 6 years in prison for assault charges before staging a remarkable comeback. Throughout it all, Remy has been seen as a fighter, someone who never backs down, and someone who values loyalty above all else. And by her side through those trials was Papoose. Now, Papoose isn't just another rapper. For years, he's been the definition of loyalty. When Remy was behind bars, Papoose didn't walk away. He didn't chase other women or use her absence as an excuse. Instead, he stood by her, waiting patiently, visiting her constantly, and showing the world what it really means to hold someone down. Their relationship became a symbol in hip-hop, a rare example of true love and commitment in an industry often defined by betrayal and temporary flings. So when a man like Kirk Frost allegedly steps into that picture, the issue isn't just about temptation. It's about crossing a sacred boundary. For those who don't know, Kirk Frost is no stranger to controversy. As a longtime cast member of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, Kirk's reputation has often been overshadowed by cheating scandals and marital drama with his wife Rashida. Fans remember the infamous storylines where Kirk was caught cheating, even fathering a child outside of his marriage. It's too many, he became the poster child for disloyalty in relationships. Now imagine that same man allegedly approaching Remy Ma, artist married to one of the most loyal men in hip-hop, with the audacity to suggest spending a night with him. Whether the story was fact, rumor, or exaggeration, it was enough to spark outrage. The hip-hop community immediately lit up. Social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok flooded with comments, memes, and debates. Some fans didn't believe it at all, calling it just another storyline or manufactured drama. But others, especially those who knew Kirk's history, found the claims believable. And then there was Papoose's reaction. Known for his calm yet firm demeanor, Pap isn't someone who rushes to cloud-chasing headlines or unnecessary drama. But when it comes to his family, he doesn't play games. Reports began surfacing that Papoose was furious, not just because of the alleged proposition itself, but because it was a blatant act of disrespect. To him, it wasn't only about Remy, it was about someone trying to test the foundation of their marriage, their loyalty, and the reputation they worked so hard to build. Fans who have followed Papoose for years know one thing about him. He's protective. Not in a toxic way, but in a way that shows deep love and respect. Whenever Remy has faced public criticism, Pap has been there defending her. Whenever someone tried to drag her name through the mud, Pap stood tall as her shield. So the thought of Kirk Frost of all people allegedly crossing the line was enough to make him see red. But here's the thing. In the world of hip-hop, rumors often snowball. What starts as a whisper becomes a headline. And what becomes a headline often turns into a social media storm before the truth can even catch up. That's exactly what happened here. As blogs and gossip pages picked up the story, the narrative quickly spiraled. Some claimed they had inside sources confirming the allegations. Others said it was all a misunderstanding, taken out of context from a private conversation. Still, the damage was done. The seed of doubt had been planted, and people were already choosing sides. What makes this situation even more explosive is the way it reflects larger themes in the culture. Hip-hop, for all its glory and success, has often struggled with loyalty and respect in relationships. From scandals involving rappers cheating on their partners, to reality TV stars exploiting drama for storylines, fans have almost become desensitized to betrayal. But when you add Remy Ma and Papoose into the mix, poster couple for faithfulness and real love, it becomes more than just gossip. It becomes a direct attack on the very idea that true loyalty can exist in the industry. In this first part of the story, we're setting the stage. We see the history of each player. Remy Ma, the fighter who values loyalty. Papoose, the loyal husband who's become a symbol of commitment. And Kirk Frost, the man whose name has often been linked to betrayal. Put them together in one explosive rumor, and you have the perfect recipe for controversy. But this is just the beginning, because the question remains, what really happened behind the scenes? Did Kirk Frost truly make such a bold and reckless move? How did Remy Ma respond to the alleged proposition? And what steps did Papoose take once the story broke? The answers to these questions take us deeper into the heart of the drama, where loyalty, respect, and pride collide in ways that reveal far more than just gossip. This isn't just about one night or one rumor, it's about reputation, trust, and the boundaries that should never be crossed. When the rumors of Kirk Frost allegedly asking Remy Ma to spend a night with him first hit the blogs, the immediate question wasn't, did Kirk really say this? The first question was, how would Remy respond? Remy Ma isn't just any woman in hip-hop. She's known for her no-nonsense attitude, her razor-sharp tongue, and her fearless ability to call things out exactly as they are. For years, she has balanced being a mother, a wife, and an MC in a male-dominated industry without ever losing her edge. She has dealt with betrayal before, both in business and personal life, and each time, she has responded with strength. But this time, the stakes were different. This wasn't a random rumor about beef with another rapper or drama from her love and hip-hop days. This was about her marriage, her bond with Papoose, one thing fans believe she protects more than anything. Interestingly, when the allegations first started spreading, Remy didn't immediately jump online to clap back. She didn't issue a fiery Instagram post or start a Twitter thread. Instead, she remained silent. For her fans, this silence spoke volumes. Some believe that her silence meant she didn't even consider the rumor worth addressing, that it was beneath her. Others thought her quietness was a sign of respect to Papoose, allowing him to lead the response since the allegation was, at its core, an attack on their marriage. But while Remy kept her composure, Papoose was not about to stay quiet. From the very beginning of his career, Papoose has carried himself as a man of integrity. He isn't known for chasing clout or running into unnecessary beefs. But if there's one thing the world knows, it's that Papoose doesn't tolerate disrespect when it comes to his wife or his family. So when the whispers about Kirk Frost's alleged request reached him, his reaction was immediate fury. immediate fury. Sources close to the couple suggested that Papoose was livid. Not because he thought Remy would ever entertain such an advance, he knows her loyalty better than anyone, but because of the sheer audacity of it. For a man with Kirk Frost's track record to even allegedly attempt such a proposition was insulting. It was a slap in the face, not just to him, but to everything he and Remy had built together. On social media, fans were quick to point out the double standard. Kirk Frost, who had already been publicly dragged for his history of cheating on Rashida, was now at the center of yet another alleged scandal. For many, it wasn't hard to believe the story. Once a cheater, always a cheater, some commented. Others defended him, suggesting the rumor was exaggerated for clicks and gossip. But for Papoose, this wasn't about internet chatter. It was about real life. He reportedly confronted the situation head-on, making it clear that no one, especially not Kirk Frost, had the right to cross those boundaries. People close to the situation described Papoose's response as calm but firm. It's the kind of reaction you would expect from a man who knows his worth and isn't afraid to protect what's his. This moment also highlighted something bigger about Papoose's character. In an industry where men often treat women as disposable, Papoose has always stood apart. His loyalty to Remy is legendary. When she was locked up, he could have walked away and started a different life. Instead, he stayed. He married her while she was in prison, raised their children, and kept her name alive in the industry until she returned. That's why this story hit so hard. It wasn't just about Remy. It was about the disrespect to their love story. Meanwhile, fans began dissecting what Remy's silence really meant. Some argued that she didn't need to say anything because her reputation spoke for itself. Remy Ma has never been the type to sneak around or play games. She's always been upfront and transparent. Others, however, felt that her silence left too much room for speculation. In the absence of a clear denial, the blogs continued to run, wild with theories. And then there was Kirk Frost. Unlike Papoose and Remy, Kirk didn't rush to address the allegations either. That in itself was telling. Some believed his silence was an admission of guilt. Others thought he was ignoring the rumors, hoping they would fade away. But if there's one thing the internet never does, it's let things go. Days turned into weeks. The story refused to die down. Social media kept fueling the fire. Memes circulated, gossip pages reposted the story daily, and YouTube channels uploaded endless exposés about what supposedly went down. For many fans, it became less about whether the story was true and more about what it symbolized: the clash between loyalty and betrayal in hip-hop relationships. For Papoose, the entire ordeal became a moment to reaffirm his values. Even without jumping on Instagram Live or ranting online, his stance was clear. He would never tolerate anyone disrespecting his wife. Those close to him suggested that behind the scenes, he let Kirk know exactly how he felt. Papoose didn't need to put on a show for the cameras. His love for Remy has always been real. And he wasn't about to let anyone, especially Kirk Frost, try to test that. But here's where things get interesting. In hip-hop, drama doesn't exist in a vacuum. When a scandal like this hits, it ripples outwards. Other artists, fans, and even media outlets begin weighing in. Some of Remy's supporters rallied behind her, praising her silence and highlighting the strength of her marriage with Papoose. Others, however, whispered that even the strongest marriages can be tested. And they speculated about whether Kirk's alleged approach might have created cracks in the foundation. What many forgot is that Remy and Papoose aren't like most celebrity couples. They've been through storms before, far worse than rumors. Prison, legal battles, industry struggles, they've faced it all. So when Kirk Frost's name was thrown into the mix, it wasn't going to shake their empire. If anything, it only made them stronger. By the end of this chapter in the story, the lines were drawn clearly. On one side stood Papoose and Remy united, as always, showing the world that their bond could withstand anything. On the other side was Kirk Frost, once again under the shadow of scandal. his silence only raising more questions. The controversy surrounding Kirk Frost, Remy Ma, and Papoose wasn't just a passing headline, it lingered. It stirred debates about loyalty, respect, and the blurred lines between reality TV drama and real-life consequences. And as the story spread, people wanted answers. How would this end? Would there be a public confrontation? Or would this silence remain unbroken? For weeks, neither Remy Ma nor Kirk Frost made any bold public statements, but their silence carried different meanings. For Remy, her decision not to engage showed strength. She didn't need to prove her loyalty to anyone, least of all to gossip blogs. Her track record, her marriage, and her character were all the proof she needed. For Kirk, however, silence felt like avoidance. Fans argued that if the rumors were completely false, he could have simply denied them. His refusal to do so left room for speculation. Speculation is the oxygen that keeps hip-hop gossip alive. Papoose, on the other hand, didn't need to say much. His loyalty has always been louder than words. Behind the scenes, it was clear that he wasn't happy with the disrespect. But rather than turn the scandal into a circus, he chose to double down on what mattered most to his family. He was seen more often with Remy, attending events together, posting family moments, and showing unity. The message was clear: no rumor, no allegation. And no man could shake their foundation. That in itself became the resolution. Papoose and Remy didn't need a big Instagram live session or a messy back and forth with Kirk Frost. Their silence, their composure, and their continued unity became the ultimate response. The controversy fizzled out not because the blogs stopped talking, but because the couple refused to feed it. But for Kirk Frost, the story left another mark on his already complicated reputation. Fans of love and hip-hop know that his name has been tied to scandal after scandal, particularly his infidelities with Rashida. This new controversy only reinforced the public's perception of him as someone who couldn't escape the shadow of disloyalty. Whether the rumor was true or exaggerated didn't matter anymore. What mattered was the narrative. And in hip-hop, perception often becomes reality. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why did this story hit so hard in the first place? After all, hip-hop is filled with rumors, drama, and messy storylines. But this one stood out because of what Papoose and Remy Ma represent. They are, in many ways, the anti-Kirk Frost, in an industry where scandals and betrayals dominate headlines. Remy and Papoose became symbols of something rare: authentic love and loyalty. They weren't perfect, but they were consistent. Their marriage wasn't built on a TV storyline. It was built on real sacrifice, patience, and dedication. And that's why fans reacted so strongly. The idea that someone like Kirk Frost, with his history, would even allegedly try to disrupt that love story was seen as offensive. It wasn't just an attack on Remy or Papoose. It was an attack on what they symbolized. This controversy also sparked deeper conversations in hip-hop circles. It raised questions about respect between men, especially in an industry where egos run high and boundaries are often ignored. For many, it was a reminder that loyalty isn't just about staying faithful in private. It's about respecting other people's relationships publicly. It also highlighted the role of gossip culture. In today's world, rumors can spread faster than the truth. One unverified claim can snowball into a full-blown scandal in a matter of hours. That's exactly what happened here. Even if the rumor wasn't 100% accurate, the damage was already done. And once it spread, fans and media outlets treated it as if it were fact. For Papoose and Remy, though, the way they handled it became a lesson for others. They didn't let the noise dictate their response. They didn't fight fire with fire. Instead, they leaned on each other, maintained their dignity, and let their love speak louder than the headlines. As time passed, the story eventually faded into the background. Other scandals took over the spotlight, and Kirk Frost continued living with his controversial reputation. Remy Ma went back to focusing on her music and her family, while Papoose continued to build his legacy as one of the most loyal men in hip-hop. But for those who watched the drama unfold, the memory of this controversy remains a reminder of how fragile reputations can be, and how powerful loyalty can become when tested. The aftermath also left fans with one undeniable conclusion: Papoose and Remy Ma had once again proven themselves unshakable. No rumor, no gossip, no alleged proposition could break them. Their love story, which had already survived prison sentences, career struggles, and the constant spotlight, stood strong against yet another storm. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost's silence became part of his legacy. Whether he truly said those words or not, the fact that he never defended himself decisively left a stain. In hip-hop, sometimes silence is the loudest answer. And in this case, it left many believing the worst. So what's the lesson here? Simple. In hip-hop and in life, loyalty still matters. Respect still matters. And the choices you make, whether public or private, shape the way the world sees you. Kirk Frost's name is now tied to another scandal, another rumor of betrayal. But Papoose's name is tied to loyalty, love, and strength. That contrast couldn't be clearer. In the end, this story wasn't just about one rumor. It was about two men, one representing betrayal, the other representing loyalty. It was about a woman who stood tall in silence, knowing her worth didn't need to be defended. And it was about a culture that still values respect. Even in an industry often defined by chaos, the hip-hop community may move on quickly. But moments like this leave lasting impressions. And for Papoose and Remy Ma, the impression they left is this: no matter what the world throws at them, they are unshakable. And for Kirk Frost, the impression is equally clear: your reputation will always follow you. And sometimes, silence only makes it louder. This story of Remy Ma, Papoose, and Kirk Frost isn't just another piece of hip-hop gossip, it's a reminder of how loyalty, respect, and reputation shape everything in this culture. We've seen how quickly rumors can spread, how silence can be interpreted, and how true love stands strong no matter what. But now, it's your turn to join the conversation. Do you believe Kirk Frost really crossed the line with that alleged proposition? Or was this just another example of social media blowing things out of proportion? And more importantly, what do you think about the way Papoose and Remy handled it? Was their silence the best response? Or should they have spoken out louder to shut down the rumors? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading every single one. Let's talk about where you stand on this. Loyalty versus betrayal. Silence versus confrontation. And love versus scandal. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to keep up with more deep dives into hip-hop's biggest controversies and untold stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, the drama in hip-hop never sleeps.